Welcome back, dear students of class 8. Today we are going to start with the part 5 of chapter 2, spreadsheet, formulas and functions. Now students, we have already completed this formulas part of this chapter, okay, in the previous few parts. And so today we are going to talk about the functions part of this chapter. Now, before starting the explanation of this chapter, students, I want to show you this updated syllabus that has been sent by ICSE because of this COVID-19, situation in our country. Okay, pandemic is there, so they have reduced the syllabus. Okay, so inside this, they have removed few topics from our course. Okay, those topics being one topic is formula errors. Okay, so they have removed formula errors topic from our syllabus. Okay, and they have removed one more topic, which is function library. Okay, so we will not study those topics. Okay, so now in this part we are going to study about the meaning of functions. What are functions in Excel? Okay, then we will study rules to enter a function, and then we will see how some of the functions like sum function is used, average function, max function, minimum function, and count functions are used. Okay, in your books there are other functions like today, related to date, and there are other functions also that you have to study, but they have reduced it. So we will only study these five functions: the sum function, average function, max, min, and this count function. Okay, now students, this part, the creating a chart part, okay, this is from your chapter 3, charts in Excel. Okay, so you don't have to study the entire chapter 3, you only have to study this part, creating a chart, from chapter 3. Okay, so today we will complete this functions part. Okay, and after that in the next part we'll talk about this creating a chart. Okay, so let's start this today's lecture. Okay, so we are going to start with functions. Well, first we'll talk what is the meaning of functions. Okay, so what are functions? Functions are the pre-designed. Okay, pre-designed means inbuilt. Okay, pre-designed means what? Already designed. So when we install Excel in our computer, okay, these there are some functions inside the Excel which are nothing but pre-designed formulas, or inbuilt, we can also call it inbuilt. Okay, inbuilt formulas in Excel to perform both simple and complex calculations. Okay, so what does this mean, students? Is that the developers of Excel, the people who have created Excel, okay, they have already designed some formulas for us which are known as functions. Okay, for what they have designed these formulas? So that we can do simple and complex calculations. Okay, now because they are pre-designed, okay, pre-designed, that means already they have been designed, we just have to use them in our calculations. Okay, so they will, because they are pre-designed, we don't have to design them, so they save our time. Okay, and they do one more thing, they eliminate the chance for writing any wrong formulas. Okay, many a time we can make mistake in writing formulas manually, but when we use functions, then it eliminates the chance of writing wrong formulas also. Okay, then functions, student, functions accept arguments and return values. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Now see, values are returned by formulas also. Okay, but functions accept arguments. What is the meaning of this word arguments? Argument, students, are the input values. Okay, input values to functions upon which the calculations will be performed to find the final result. So those values that will be inside the functions, okay, those values that will be inside the functions on which the calculations will be performed are called as arguments. For example, I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you a simple function. Suppose I want to calculate the sum of these two values over here. So what, using functions, so what I'll do, I want the total over here. Okay, this is, these two are numbers, so what I'll do, I'll come to this cell where I want the total. Okay, I'll go to this button for sum function, and then I will select the range. Okay, oh sorry, over here students, what I'll do, I'll write the range. So this is the C6 and this is the D6. Okay, cell C6 and this is D6. So see, inside the function, this is the sum part that is written. This is the function. A function always starts with an equal to, then the name of the function, then inside this bracket which are called as parentheses, C6 and D6 are written. Okay, I have written it like this also. You can also write it like this, C6 comma D6. So see, this C6 and D6 are only the arguments which are inside this functions, and arguments are always written inside the parentheses or these curly brackets. Okay, so when I click on OK, see the total of these two have been calculated very easily. Okay, so this is how this is what arguments are. This C6 and D6 which are written inside these parentheses are the arguments. Arguments can also be simple numbers, like this is 85, so I have written 85 instead of the cell references, and the other one was 95 I guess, so 95. Okay, so sorry, 98 it was. So see, if I input numbers, then these numbers become my arguments. Okay, so whatever is written inside after the function, we use the brackets, and whatever cell addresses or cell references or numbers we input inside this parenthesis separated by comma, okay, that are called as arguments, students. Okay, so this is how we use a function, and these are arguments. Okay, so functions, they accept arguments, okay, and return values. So that total that the function showed us, that was the value. Return means shows, okay, or gives us the value. Okay, then these values can be numbers, it can also be text, okay, and are always enclosed within the parenthesis. So arguments are always enclosed in the parenthesis. Okay, this is one of the important rules of entering a function also. You'll study that. So functions always begin with an equal to sign. So formulas used to begin with an equal to sign, and functions, students, also begin with an equal to sign. Then the name of the function, okay, then followed by the name of the function, then parenthesis, and then we are going to input arguments, and then we will close the bracket after writing the arguments. Okay, so see, the arguments can be separated by comma. If it is a range, then you can write the range also. Oh, sorry. So this is what a function is. Okay, so functions always begin with an equal to sign followed by the function name, and then the list of arguments. The list of arguments are separated by a comma which are within the parentheses. For example, look over here, see the function, it starts with a, what is the syntax? This is a syntax of writing a function. Okay, equal to, then the name of the function, then parenthesis open, then argument 1 comma argument 2, and then if you have another argument, then you write argument 3. Okay, argument 3, and if you have argument 4, then write argument 4, and so on. And whenever write the last argument, and then close the parenthesis and hit enter key. Okay, and you will get the value. Okay, then you will get the value. Okay, so this is what a function is. Now students, there are certain rules to enter a function. We have already know about this rule, but again let's discuss what are the rules to enter a function. The rule number 1 is that a function should always begin with an equal to sign. So for the function should always begin with an equal to sign. The second rule is that the function name must be a valid Excel name. For example, this sum is a valid Excel name. Okay, you cannot enter SU. This is not a function. Okay, or SUMM. This is not a function. The correct Excel function is this sum. Yes, so it should be equal to, first rule, that it should always begin with an equal to. Then it should be a valid Excel name. If you are entering a sum function, then this is a valid Excel name, this sum. Okay, then the third rule is the function name must be followed by an opening and closing parenthesis. So after the function name, you open the parenthesis. Okay, then arguments rule number 4, arguments are enclosed in the parenthesis. So see this a1 colon a2. What does this a1 colon a2 symbolize over here? A1 colon a2 symbolize that it is same as this a2 comma a3 comma a4 comma a5, and then so this and this are same. A1 colon A2 symbolizes all the cells from A1 to A5. Okay, the range of cells from A1 to A5. So this and this are nothing but the same. Okay, so this is also my this is called as argument. Okay, arguments are separated by comma. Okay, and when you enter the last argument, then you close the parenthesis. Okay, so this is how we use the function. These are the 4 important rules of entering a function. Okay, then let's quickly see the first function. Okay, let's quickly see the first function. The first function, the name of first function is the auto sum function. Auto sum. Sum means to add. Yes, sum means addition. You have studied this in mathematics. Okay, so auto sum option, besides being a very common and fastest way to calculate the total means, calculating total means what? Adding everything. Okay, total of the given numbers in range. Okay, so it calculates the total of given numbers in a range, and also provides option to find average of the range, counting the number of values present in the range, showing the maximum with the max function, and showing the minimum. So we will discuss about these 4 functions later on. First, let's talk about the sum function. Okay, so now there are 2 places in Excel where you can find this auto sum function. Okay, first you can find auto sum option in the editing group on the home tab. So this is my home tab and this is my editing group. See, oh sorry, this is not Excel. This is my home tab in Excel and this is my editing group. See, there is an auto sum function over here. Okay, so when I click on this, see, I have this sum function, this is the average function, this is the count function, this is max function, and this is the minimum function. Okay, so these are the 5 functions that we are going to study today. Okay, so this is the first function. So let's see what is there in this. Okay, and one more place where you can find this auto sum option is in the function library group on the formulas tab. So come to this Excel, see, this is the formulas tab, and see, this is the function library, and this is the auto sum option. So in auto sum option we have again those same, all those functions. There are more functions also, but we don't need to study about them right now. You can study them in the higher classes, or when you study Excel, advanced Excel. Okay, so let's talk about how to calculate the total marks obtained by some student. So let's see this table. Okay, for example, enter the data as given in this figure. So I have already done that. You guys can enter in your own computers. So I have entered these data as per the given table. Okay, then I want to calculate the total of this and this. See, this student Anuj has got 85 out of 100 in oral examination and 98 out of 100 in written examination. So what is his total? How to calculate that quickly using the sum function? Okay, so using auto sum or using the auto sum option. Okay, so we'll click on this cell where we want the total, then go to the home tab. Okay, come over here in the editing group, come to this auto sum option, click over here. Okay, and then click on this sum function. As soon as students will click on the sum function, see, the sum function is already displayed over here. Now see, equal to sum bracket C6 to D6. This is C6, this is D6. It's correct. Just click on OK. See, the total is shown so easily and so quickly. If you want to calculate for the next student, this student, okay, come over here again, just select this cell, come over here, okay, and select this sum option, and it has been done. Okay, if you want to do for this student, come over here, select, hit the enter button. Okay, so in this way you can calculate for all the students. Okay, you can also drag and drop the one we did in the relative reference. Okay, so I'm not using relative reference over here, I'm just using the sum, auto sum options sum function. So this is how you use the sum function to calculate the total. Isn't it very easy, students? Okay, now the next topic, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. The next is the average function. So the next is the average function. So what is the average function? You have already studied average in mathematics. Okay, so average means what? I'll show you simply what does average means. Okay, suppose I'll show you from this example only. Suppose this student got 85 out of 100 in oral and 98 out of 100 in this written. So what is the average? Average means that the total divided by the number of observations. How many number of observations are there? 2. Okay, so this is the way how you calculate average, right? You have already studied average in mathematics. Okay, so to calculate the average, it is very simple in Excel. Just go to the cell where you want the average. Okay, and then go to this auto sum option, click on this arrow, select the second average function. Okay, now see, it is showing 3 cells over here, C6 to E6, but we don't want this E6, we want only till D6. We just want the average of these 2 cells. So change that and then hit enter. So what is the average marks of this student? 91.5. Okay, in the same manner you can calculate for other students as well. Okay, so just select the proper range. Okay, just select the proper range and hit enter. Okay, so this student has got 58 average. Okay, what is then in the same manner you can calculate for other students as well. Okay, so you have to select the correct range. Okay, the only thing that you need to do is you need to select the correct range. C8 D8. Okay, so you can also use the relative reference, that will be an easier way. So see, I have calculated the average of all the students. So this is how you use the average function. Okay, the next function is called as the max function. Okay, the next function is called as the max function. Okay, the max function. What is the use of max function? The max function is used to find the largest value of the given range. To find the largest value of the given range, we use the max function. So let us see how that is. Suppose I want to calculate which student has got highest marks in oral examination. Okay, which student has got highest marks in oral examination? This is Anuj's marks, this is Arshiya's marks, and so on, all the students' marks. So my range is from this C6 to this C6 to this C11. Okay, this is my range from which I want the highest marks. So what, suppose I want the highest marks over here. Okay, so I'll come to this cell. Okay, suppose I'll type highest. Okay, highest, oh sorry, highest marks. Who has got highest marks? Then again I want lowest marks also. Okay, so who has got highest marks? Let's see. See, because this is only 6 students are there, you can calculate this manually also. But suppose 6,000 students are there, then you will calculate manually or what? It will take a lot of time. So instead of doing that, we can use this max function for calculating the highest or the largest value among the range. So just come to the cell where you want the largest value and then go to this auto sum, click on this max. Okay, and then select your range. Okay, so my range is from C6 to C11. Okay, this is my range from here to here. Okay, and I'll click OK. So what is the highest marks? 92. See, the 92 marks is the highest marks. Okay, then to calculate lowest marks, we have the minimum function. Okay, so then we have the minimum function also. See, similarly, minimum function finds the lowest value in the range. So to find the lowest value in the range, lowest marks, who has scored the lowest marks? Just select the cell where you want the lowest, then go to min. Min means minimum. Okay, select your range. Range starts from here to here. Oh, sorry, here colon here. Okay, C6 to C11. See, which is the, how much is the minimum marks? 52 is the minimum marks. Okay, if similarly, if you want to calculate the minimum, maximum, who has got maximum total marks? Okay, so you can do that also. Okay, so go to this auto sum, click on max, select your cell range. Okay, and click OK. So what is the highest total? 299. Okay, who has scored this? Come over here, Naveen. Okay, then if you want lowest, you go to min, select your range, select your range properly, and then so 94 is the lowest total. Okay, so this is how we use the minimum and maximum function. The next function, students, is the count function. Okay, so count function basically, students, is used to calculate the number of values. Okay, so how many number of values are there over here? 6. In this, from year to year, we know there are 6 values. See, count is showing 6. Okay, now see, students, but if suppose there were more millions, thousands, and lakhs of values were there, suppose, so it becomes difficult for us to calculate it manually. So how to use the count function? Suppose from year to year I want to see how many values are present. So how I'll do that? Suppose I want the count over here, so I'll go here, come to count numbers, I'll select my range properly. Okay, and then hit enter. So there are how many values? 6. This is first value, second value, third value, fourth value, fifth value, and sixth value inside a particular range. I'll explain you with count with another example. Suppose there is a shop whose data is shown over here. This is the date in the month of January, 1st January, 2nd January, and on 1st January they made sale of 500, 2nd January they made 550, 3rd they made 600, 4th Jan they made 522, and 5th Jan they didn't make any sale. Okay, so now students, I want to calculate in this entire month how many days the sales were made. I don't want to calculate the total sales, I just want to calculate how many days the sales were made. Okay, over here in this cell. So what I'll do, I'll come to the cell where I want the total number of sales, the count of sales. Okay, then I'll go to this count numbers, and then I'll select my range. So my range is from this B2 to 31st of Jan. Okay, till here. So I've selected my range and I'm hitting the enter key. See, so out of that 31 days, 25 days were the days where sale was made, and rest 6 days the sale was not made. See this. Okay, so this is how count function is useful. It helps in counting the numbers. Okay, so these are the only functions that you need to study in this particular chapter, students. Okay, now this function library part is not there in your syllabus, but still I'll quickly tell you about this function library. Now see, students, what is function library? It is a library where many functions are present. Now see, there are many functions which are predefined by the Excel. Okay, many. Now for a human being, it is not possible to remember all the names of the functions and their uses. So it is very difficult for a human being to remember the names of all the functions and to know what the particular function does. So that's why Excel has given us a function library, where function library, okay, shows us the all the functions that are present and what is the use of that particular function. Where is the function library present? It is present in the function library group on the formulas tab. So let us see where is the function library present. See, this is the formulas tab and this is the function library, and see all the different functions. These are all the financial functions. If you want to calculate financial, if you are suppose an accountant, for an accountant these functions are very useful, these different functions. If you want to know what the particular function does, you just hover on that function and see what does this price disk function do. Just bring your mouse over that function and the this will it returns the price per liter, price per 100 face value of a discounted security. Okay, so these are advanced functions, we don't need to go into them. Suppose we come to this maths and trigonometry group of functions. So what is the use of this function? ABS returns the absolute value of the number. Okay, now I hope you have studied absolute value in maths. If not, then you will study in higher classes. Okay, so these are all advanced functions. Okay, this is the LCM function. I hope you have studied LCM in mathematics. So it returns the least common multiple. Okay, least common multiple. Okay, if you use this function, the least LCM will be shown of the that much particular numbers. What is the LCM? So this is your function library. You can also go to function library by clicking on this insert function button. Now this insert function dialog box has opened. Come over here, select a category. Okay, see, these are the different categories: financial, date and time, mathematical. Okay, suppose I want today's date. Okay, suppose I want today's date over here. What is the date today? Okay, so I'll go to this insert function and I will select date and time. Now what is the date today? I'll click on this date function. What is the use of this date function? It returns the number that represents the date in Microsoft Excel. So I'll click on this OK. Okay, now instead of doing this, I'll just use a today function. See, equal to today. Okay, there's a today function. See, today is 23rd. Now I know you are watching this on 24th. Okay, but I am recording this lecture on 23rd itself. Okay, so that's why 23rd of July 2020 is showing. Okay, if I change my system date from here, see, I'm changing my system date, so it will show tomorrow's date also. So see, I'm changing. Now I'll delete this, and if I use equal to today, so this is the, see, now it's showing 24th. Okay, so this is today function. So there are many functions over here. Okay, in the function library there are many functions, and all the functions, if you want to know what that function does, okay, if you want to know what that function does, so you just go to that particular function, and about that function, whatever that function does, its description is written over here. So this is your function library. Okay, now the next important part that you need to study, students, is this managing a worksheet. Managing worksheet is there in your syllabus. Okay, so you know what a worksheet is. If I open Microsoft Excel, if I'm open a Microsoft Excel, suppose I go to this Microsoft Office and I click on Microsoft Excel 2000. If I open a new workbook, if I open a new Microsoft workbook, by default, see, you have studied this in the previous class, I'll get three worksheets. See, this is worksheet number 1, worksheet number 2, worksheet number 3, and their default names are sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3. So how to manage these? Manage means what? Renaming the sheets, deleting, adding sheets. Okay, so how to do that? First topic that we need to study is renaming a worksheet. How to rename a worksheet? The default names are sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3. If I don't want sheet 1, suppose I want over here class 8th A, okay, instead of sheet 1. So So what I'll do, I'll right click on this sheet, go to this rename option over here, click on this and type my new name, class 8A. If I want to make this for class 8B, right click on this, go to rename class 8B. Okay, and so on. Class 8C. See, I have renamed my sheets. So this is very easy way. The next topic that you need to study is deleting a worksheet. Okay, so you can delete a worksheet if it is of no use. To delete a worksheet, right click on the sheet that you want to delete and click on the delete option. So how to delete a worksheet? Suppose I have added this sheet. Okay, this sheet 4 is extra over here. I clicked on this button, to which button, this insert sheet button, or I press the shortcut key shift plus F11 to add new worksheet. Suppose this extra worksheet is there, I want to delete this sheet. I will just go to that sheet, right click on it and then select this option, delete option. As soon as I click on delete, the sheet got deleted. Okay, so this is how you delete a worksheet in Microsoft Excel. Okay, now the next is changing the color of your sheet tab. So okay, the next topic is changing the color of the sheet tab. This is the last topic of your chapter. Okay, so suppose, can you see the color right now? The color of this tab is white. Suppose I want to change the color of this sheet tab. Okay, I'll right click on that sheet tab, go to this tab color option, whichever color I like. I will, suppose I want red for class 8A, so I'll click on this red color. See, as soon as I move on to the next, see, this color has become red. If I want for 8B, suppose I want color green color, so I'll right click, go to that, select, suppose I want blue color. Okay, so see, this has become blue color sheet. Okay, if I want for 8C, suppose I want green color, so now see, this has become green color. So this is how you change the sheet color of the sheet tab. Okay, very easy. Right click and just go to tab color and select whichever color you want from this options. Okay, so this is where we put an end to this chapter. This chapter is finished. Only one topic is remaining, that is from the next chapter. Okay, that is creating a chart, and I will talk about creating a chart in the next lecture. Okay, now I will put an end to this lecture. You guys take care of yourself and be well. Thank you.